So the Peking knot is a beautiful stitch. It's considered an advanced stitch. This is a Peking knot as a loop. Here's a Peking knot as a stitch. Now it might look familiar. It resembles a French knot. So here are some French knots and here are some Peking knots. You can see there is a slight variation. On work, it's not quite apparent immediately, except to really experienced eyes. I love the loops. I think there's so many uses for them. Here are loops and I just tack them down. Here are Peking knots, not loops, but the knots themselves, and they make interesting results. Off the edges of a little star here, it kind of looks like a dandelion. Here's a group of them in different yellows. I think that's beautiful. And here are the Peking knots in a loop to make a flower. Now, if you play with the colors, you can get a flower like this one, where it has a nice gradient, and it looks a little different than here. And here is if you vary the size loops and you add the gradient, you get a really beautiful effect. Now, there are many ways to use this stitch. It's a very simple stitch. So aside from the sampler, if you wanted to use the Peking knot in your work, where it adds just a little texture. So here on this slow stitching piece, if you look closely, you can see some of these loops. And I just feel like the knot is here, the loop is here, the loop is here. Some more on this side. It's a beautiful effect, very subtle, but the textural element is very valuable. Let me just show you how to create this. It's a very, very simple stitch. So I have some pearl cotton and a needle, and I have a knot in the back. And to make the loop, I'm going to come up through my fabric, pull my thread until the knot is secure, and then I'm going to create the loop and reverse it. And then I'll stitch down. Now you can really play with this and decide how big a loop you want. I like to choose my size loop ahead of time, hold it in position, and then stitch it down. So I'll show you that again. I come up, pull my thread. With my other fingers, I make the loop, and then I flip it over, create the size, and stitch it down. So that's the Peking knot loop. To make the Peking knot, you'll do the same procedure. You come up with your thread, make your loop like this, flip it over, and I like to put my needle into my fabric, gently guide that thread taut and closed around my needle, and then pull through. And then I have that beautiful knot. So one more time, I come up through my fabric, create the loop, flip it around so there's a little crossover, and then with my needle, I go right down over the cross, really close to where I came in, gently pull that thread around my needle, and then pull my thread. So that is the Peking knot. It's either the loop or the stitch, and it has other names, the Chinese knot, the forbidden stitch. It's really quite interesting, and it adds a beautiful element to your work. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And thank you for joining me today.